Welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. This show is brought to you by Oakley Trucking, headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas. The purpose of this podcast is to communicate with Oakley owner-operators and their families by giving them up-to-date information concerning Oakley trucking and the trucking industry, from business advice to safety updates to success stories. Also to give an insight to outside truck drivers that might be interested in joining the Oakley family. Hi, I'm Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode 28. On today's episode, we're going to go over some information from our dispatch department, safety department, and recruiting department. I got some up-to-date information for you guys, so pay attention to that here in just a minute. Things that we think needs to be communicated to our owner-operators, so we want to get that to you. But also, the second part of today's episode, we're going to talk to Bryan Walden. He's our tire guy here in the office, and he's going to explain to you the best way for you to take advantage of these tire discounts that we get for y'all. So we're going to go through that process here in a little bit, but first, as we start out every episode, let's hear from Vickie Chastain on this week's Need to Know segment.
If you get the chance to talk to a potential owner-operator or know someone that would be a good fit here at Oakley, write their name and number down and turn it into recruiting cards. That's this week's Need to Know segment. There are multiple ways you can do this. It can be called in, scanned in, sent in through TransFlow, or submitted through a driver portal. Once we get in touch with them to make sure they're qualified lead, you will receive $100 on your next settlement. If the owner-operator is leased on, you will receive $5,000, $2,500 after they have completed 45 days, and $2,500 after they have completed their 90 days. Turning in recruiting cards is a great way to earn some extra cash in your pocket, so take advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. I am Vickie Chastain, and that's this week's Need to Know segment.
Okay, guys, updates from inside the office. So what I did is I went around and talked to each department, safety, dispatch, and recruiting. And I got some up-to-date information that I think you need to know. From every one of them, they had some input, and I think it's really good stuff that I'd like to start getting out a little bit more to you guys. Instead of having them come on every time, I can gather this information. I can tell you what's going through their minds and what we need to focus on. So let's start out with safety first of all, because man, that's where it's at. It seems to be here lately. It's been an very active department over there, which is typically when it's active, it's not very good. But the big thing that's going on there right now is the new hours of service regulations by the FMCSA that are going in effect September the 29th. And depending on when this comes out, I think this will actually come out Wednesday the 30th. So they just came out. And, you know, that to me, I don't know all the details on the changes in the hours of service, but a little bit just talking to Roger in the safety department, it is going to be really good for the owner operator and the truck driver in general, because it's going to be able to extend your day in certain circumstances, which has got to be a plus. You know, our goal is we hope it slows everybody down, and where you can take your time and get to places, because I know you guys, with that clock ticking, it makes you feel rushed ever since they came out with these hours of service. Well, now these new changes hopefully will help that, where you're not fighting that clock and racing against the clock. So that started, and Roger told me that automatically at midnight, that your unit, Qualcomm unit, those changes will be upgraded in there. So that they do it themselves. You know, the unit has it in there. So you shouldn't have to come back to the office or do anything like that. It's just automatically updated in your IVG unit. So if you have problems with that, call the safety department. They're kind of expecting a lot of calls that day, so which may be today. But you know, find out what's going on, making sure you're doing it right, and do yourself, you know, a favor by checking in on these new hours of service changes, make sure you understand them completely. Don't get caught and not understanding them and playing the dumb card. That don't work. You gotta pay attention and know the rules. So also safety department, the speeding tickets and accidents have been ticking upward, which is not a good sign. Maybe these new hours of service, these slight changes will help on the speeding. It's just, it's to us, it's inside the office. It's, we wonder why do people get a 15 over speeding ticket? And, we've had one in a construction zone, we've had one in a school zone, and it's just, it's very frustrating. And remember, you get a 15 over speeding ticket, it's immediate termination. So pay attention to your speeding and what you're doing out there. The thing is, we want you to be a safe driver. We promote safety at Oakley Trucking, and we want you to be a safe driver. And hey, everybody, almost all our owner-operators, I'd say all of them are safe drivers. You wouldn't be here. And we all make mistakes. We understand that. But to do what you're doing, and I applaud you for doing it, being able to do it every day, wake up in that truck and be able to drive amongst all this traffic the way it is and all these textures the way they are and the four-wheelers and how they don't understand that you're weighing 80,000 pounds and you can't stop on a dime and they cut you off. We understand all that too, but it boils down to we got to be the one being the safest driver on the road. So we just got to deal with those people the best we can. And that's by, staying out of the road rage, staying out of confrontations with them, and just paying attention all the times. Paying attention to what's going on in your surroundings. Don't be distracted. We've talked about this for days, weeks about distracted driving. Matter of fact, we're going to have a episode on distracted driving coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm going to sit down and talk with Randy Reimel about it and get some details on it. But, we've been talking about this being on the phone while you're working, while you're driving. It's a distraction, y'all. You got to know that. It's not against the law, but when you're on that phone, Bluetooth, you're distracted. So you got to pay attention to what's going on and the people in front of you. You're doing a great job, but this is just a reminder from the safety department to be safe. Don't be distracted. Watch your lane changes. We've had several here in the last week of just changing lanes in that blind spot. That's a tough one. I know you get in that blind spot and cars pass you up on the right or whatever. That's a challenge, but watch those. We're having a few of those for whatever reason. It seems like this stuff comes in threes. That's what the safety department tells me anyway. Also, updating your stuff. So, and what I mean by stuff, updating your CDL, your hazmat, your TWIC card, your passport, your physical. This is a big one. We see people that wait till the last minute to update their physical. And guess what? They don't pass. And they got to sit at home for however long till they get their blood pressure right or till they get their sleep apnea card read or just different things that happen with this physical. You make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get your physical done, your CDL changed, hazmat and TWIC. And once you get all this stuff done, please send a copy to the safety department. Make sure they receive it and have got it on file. Because we have to have that stuff on file. Just because you got it in your pocket doesn't mean we're legal. Because as a company, we have to have it on file. That's the way they do audits now, is basically they just call us and say, hey, send me all this stuff, and we got to have it scanned in online in the computer. So help us out with that. That's the word from safety. Now let's move on to dispatch. I know that's where a lot of you guys like to hear from dispatch. I do too. I'm telling you, those are my guys. I like to talk to them because that's the heart of the company right there. Dispatch and you guys. That's where the money's made. So freight, I asked them about freight, and man, it's looking really good now. Thank goodness it's it looks like we've come out of it. Well, not totally, but it's really good. Freight is picked up a lot. Definitely an uptick in orders is what they told me. We've changed a couple people around in the office, and we've got Kobe and Nick. They are way ahead of the freight. They're constantly looking for new freight, and all the time. So they're they've kind of got out of the trenches of everyday dispatch, and they are so knowledgeable at what's going on. They've been here for years, so they're hitting up new customers all the time, staying focused on that. So that's good. Be sure and pay attention to these plant rules. We've had a few complaints from some customers on these plant rules, speeding, going the wrong direction, not doing the things that they want us to do. And every place you go into has got a different set of rules, and it's hard to keep up with all of them. But those little things make a big difference to those shippers and receivers. So pay attention to the rules that they have. And if you have problems there, contact us first, and we'll help you we'll walk you through it. We'll contact them and see what's going on. You can help yourself out a whole lot by just giving good customer service. That's something that we're proud of at Oakley, is to give good customer service. You guys do a fantastic job at this, but it's a constant battle every day that you got to get up every morning, and you have to put on that to serve mentality to give good customer service to the next place you go to, and knowing that they may not receive you very well. I don't know. Most of them do, but there's some that may not. But you still got to give that good customer service to all the customers, because that's the difference we're going to make at Oakley Trucking. We're going to make sure we give good customer service, and that's the difference between us and another company. And you guys see that because we require you to be clean cut. Well, that doesn't mean just haircut and clean shaven. That means good attitude. That means good language coming out of your mouth. That means good hygiene. That means your truck looking good, our trailer looking good. It's a whole total package that you guys give out there that helps us give good customer service. There's no telling. You guys don't understand the kind of, well, you probably do, the money you have made this company by giving that good customer service. You've created a lot of freight on your own by giving good customer service. We hear it a lot, and you guys should be applaud and proud of yourself, because you produce even more customers when you're out there. So thank you for doing what you do, keeping it look good. And that was the word from dispatch. They were the same way. Oh, the other thing is, I don't know if y'all listened to a couple episodes when I had the Oakley roundtable, and I had other drivers sitting in here with me, but they had the complaint of that we didn't have the correct numbers on the shippers and receivers and the correct directions and that stuff. Well, we're trying. I hope you're seeing a difference on that, because we are definitely trying to improve that. We're getting better information. And so what we need you to do is, if you see a number's wrong, address is wrong, you need to tell your dispatcher, and then you need to follow up, make sure he changed it in the computer. He's supposed to, and they're doing that. So we just got to make sure that's getting changed, so you guys got better. When we dispatch you, you got good, accurate information. Okay, that's the word from dispatch. Recruiting. Well, recruiting is doing pretty good right now. We've just come through a tough year so far. We hadn't been able to lease on near as many owner-operators as we'd like, but we're back. We've been back to leasing them on, and we're doing 5, 6, 7 a week leasing on. We're finding some really good guys right now, which we try to all the time, but it's it's going good. The main thing I want our owner-operators to understand is we need you guys recruiting for us. So we have to advertise just to generate phone calls and find people. But man, I'd rather pay you. Oakley had rather pay you for leads than advertising companies. That's just the truth. So don't forget about how that works with us paying you for good leads. You talk to somebody stops you and asks you about Oakley, get their name, get their phone number, and call me. You can transflow it. You can call me, call a recruiter. Just do that. You never know what might work out. And if you feel like he's a good guy, then give us his number, and let's see where it goes. And we appreciate what you do because you represent us well. I mean, they talk to you, they believe you before they believe a recruiter. Can you believe that? I know it. That don't make sense. Yes, it does. It does. I'm just kidding. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth, the good and the bad of what's going on at Oakley. Tell them your experiences at Oakley, and that they know whether you're sincere or not. And it helps us tremendously. So you guys help us sell this company. For pretty much with East Division, the Hoppers, they're still wanting a few guys out east, the East Coast that'll stay out a couple weeks at a time. So we're trying to find that. If you know anybody that wants to do that, lives, and I say East Coast, I mean Tennessee, Carolinas, Georgia, out in that area. But they'll need to stay out a couple of weeks at a time. The dumps, they're pretty much all over. They would like to have more Northeast, Ohio, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Carolinas. That's all busy out there right now, all busy. So if you know anybody interested in that, pull an end dump, we could sure use them on that part. And the pneumatic tanks, their freight has exploded. That's hard to find. Those guys are hard to find that have pneumatic experience because that's the deal. We're really particular on pneumatics because just the different products you deal with, the different customers that you're dealing with, we have to be. So, if you're interested in any of those divisions or swapping divisions, let us know. We do. You can swap and not have pneumatic experience. So if you've been here, 6 months or more and you're interested in pneumatic, let us know. We'll see what we can do and get you on that division. That's the way we like to do it instead of hiring from outside. But sometimes we find guys with pneumatic experience. They're just hard to come by. So, but we the main thing is we appreciate you guys, our owner operators. You make our living, and I really appreciate that because you make me a living, and I'm so proud of what you guys do. I could not do it myself. I can tell you that. And you got a tough job every day, but people know. They know Oakley standards, and you just make sure you're meeting Oakley standards. Be proud of the company you're working for. Be proud of your truck. Be proud of the trailer you're pulling, and people recognize that. So thank you for what you do. Keep up the good work. Now, that's your update from inside the office. Appreciate you listening to that. But now let's get with Bryan Walden and talk about tire discounts. Mr. Bryan Walden in here sitting with us, and his gonna test his knowledge on all these tire discounts. He's our tire discount guru here at Oakley Trucking, and got Corey sitting in, going to hang with us still with the tire discounts. And want to first talk a little bit about how expensive tires are. I mean, everybody knows that tires is a big expense, and you got to do it, every year? Every 2 years, maybe?
Yeah, at least.
I don't know how many miles you get out of a set of tires, maybe 100,000, if that. But you're gonna have a big expense when it comes to tires, and you're either gonna have to have a good savings built up for tires, or you're just going to come up with the money for them. So here at Oakley, we do offer some really good tire discounts, and I want to give you specifics on that. So, because I know sometimes there's some confusion on how do I get the discount. What are they? How much are they? That kind of stuff. So Bryan is in accounting department here / tire guru, I guess. How'd you get that anyway in the accounting department?
Tommy decided to hand it off to me.
Yeah, had to designate somebody to be the tire guy.
One last thing on his plate.
Yeah, that's all right. So you want to start us off and kind of tell us what the best way I guess, do you want to tell what the discounts are first and then how to
get them? Main program that we that I see drivers taking advantage of is the Michelin discount program. It's called the Michelin National Account, and typically what you save on Michelin tires is about $100 to $125 per tire. You can also buy BF Goodrich tires on this account, and those are a little bit less than the Michelins are, so you save typically $75 to $100 per tire.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That is, but is that off of what I guess the normal retail price is?
Correct.
What you're saying?
Yeah. So if a tire shop is having a sale or something, it's not going to be as much of the savings, but typically we say that's off the base price.
So Michelin's and BF Goodrich.
Correct.
That's the main discounts we offer.
That's the only two on the program where you set a credit card up. There is another program for Goodyear tires. It's a little bit different. You don't set a credit card up. You can only use it at a Goodyear commercial service center. Can't use it anywhere else.
All right, so let's talk about the Michelin and BF Goodrich account. How does a guy go about setting that up?
All you have to do is call your dispatcher, have them transfer them to me, or you can call me directly. My number is 501-320-8435. And what I do is I can log into the Michelin National account, and I put a credit card or debit card on file. Now, keep in mind, you've got to have the available funds on the card, and you use our account number, and they charge your card. So essentially, we're the middleman in this process. You're just using our account number to be able to get our discounted pricing.
So we get a discount because we're such a large company.
The quantity.
We got a lot of guys that can buy tires, and they buy them through us. So they offer us a discount. And it's anywhere in the U.S.?
It's anywhere that has access to the Michelin National account. So what I usually tell people is Loves, TAs, Petros, Flying J's, essentially anywhere that has access to the Michelin National account. So that's going to be anywhere that sells Michelin tires or BF Goodrich tires and has an internet access.
Okay. So, I mean, that's a lot of places.
Pretty much everywhere. About the only place you couldn't use it is a little mom and pop store that still handwrites their tickets.
Okay.
And doesn't have internet.
All right. Well, and you're talking, 8-10 tires.
Oh, yeah. The savings can be, if you're saving $100 per tire, you get 8 tires. Do the math, $800 right there in your pocket.
That's significant savings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So we probably got a bunch of our owner operators that have this credit card on file. Their credit card on file.
Yeah, I'd say over half the fleet does. Because usually when I go talk to orientation, I always tell the guys, even if you're not needing tires right now, you might as well go ahead and put a card on file, because you never know when you're going to need a tire at 8 o'clock at night. And if we're not here to set you up, well, you're paying full price.
Right.
But if you already got that card on file, you just go ahead with the steps and get your discount right there.
And that's Michelin and BF Goodrich do either.
Correct. Yes.
Either one of those.
Correct.
Okay. All right. What about the Goodyear?
The Goodyear, like I was saying, it's a little bit different of a program. You don't have as much access to be able to get the tires. You can't get them at a Love's or a TA or anywhere like that. You can only get them at a Goodyear commercial service center. For that program, you don't have to put a credit card on file. We have a PDF file on the Oakley owner-operator website where you log in with your truck number and your password. And they go
to the driver portal.
Correct, yes.
And it'll have
the account number and the approval number, which is how you get the discount.
Okay.
But like I said, it's a little limited because you can only use it at a Goodyear commercial service center. And I keep repeating that because you can't use it at a regular Goodyear place. It has to be a commercial service center.
And do we have a list, or do we give them a list, or
we don't? You can look online and try to look for Goodyear commercial centers, and it'll give you, like 3 in your zip code or something like that, that are close by. And I would suggest calling them first to make sure that they can do the program, because some Goodyears are called a Goodyear, but they're not necessarily allowing the discount programs. So it's best to call on that program to make sure that they're going to give you, the discount before you drive 50 miles out of your way.
Right. Yeah, you want to make sure you're going to get that discount before you get there and make sure. So, and that's basically they're just going to have to call and check it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way. Correct.
Because when you say commercial service center, that's different than
that's not your typical place where you take your Honda Accord and get some tires put on. It's got to be have big bays and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. All right. So pay attention to the Goodyear account. You do get some good discounts. Are they as good as Michelin?
Yeah, they're typically about $75 to $100 per tire, I think.
So it's worth finding.
It's worth. Yeah, if that's the kind of tire you like to run, might as well take advantage of the discount while you can.
I know we also got a Goodyear here across the river from us here in Little Rock that gives good. I don't know that they're commercial. I guess they are. I think they are, but I don't know exactly. But I know they give good discounts. I'm good friends with that guy, Mark Townsend over there, and he gives Oakley guys great discounts. And he's across the river there at Exit 5 across from Kenworth. You can get some good Goodyear tires there at a good price too. So
Yeah. And I mean, and if anybody had any questions on this, like I said, I'd be glad to help you out. Answer any questions. Call a place for you if you can.
What's some of the questions you get from drivers when they do call?
Mostly, just kind of what the program entails, how it works. Do we take it out of settlements, which we don't?
That's what I was getting at. I figured that's going to be one we need to.
It is.
Answer.
They ask, does it come out of the settlement? And it does not. It's a credit card you put on file. You go into, let's say, a Love's, you give them an account number, and when they enter the account number, it's going to prompt them and tell them, they need it's a mandatory credit card account. So they're going to need some of your credit card information. They're going to need your expiration date, your name as it appears on the card, and what you get that day is just a work order. They don't get to see our discounts because a lot of times the price that you're paying for the tire is less than what they actually buy the tire for. So you're getting it less than the Love's. So they're going to give you just a work order that day, not going to have any kind of pricing on it. It's just going to tell what you purchased. And
how am I going to know the price?
Well, you can either call me and I can give you the price ahead of time. Again, you can use the driver portal. We've got that on there, Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. It'll tell the price and the federal excise tax. That's the only place we get the discount. No discount on mountain balance, valve stems, tire disposal fees, and of course you're going to have state, local, county taxes that are added in there. So
that's good to know, because I'm thinking as an owner operator and I'm getting tires from this place, they should know what my discount's going to be, but they don't.
Right.
No.
And same with fuel. What we were
Right.
talking about earlier. I mean, a lot of these, cashiers that work there at the fuel aisle, and they don't know what Oakley's discount is.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be something that you just got to know you're getting it, because you're not going to have proof at either place that you're coming out of there with a fuel discount or a tire discount.
Correct.
You're really not going to know
Yeah.
until you. Now, I know I've had a couple guys call and need a receipt.
Yes. So Michelin, what happens is when the tire dealership puts your credit card information in, they don't actually swipe your card or anything like that. They do it all through their computer. They send it to Michelin. Michelin charges your card. And then in about 5 to 10 business days, Michelin mails me a receipt. And when I get it, I'll email it to the owner operator so they can have it for their records.
Good system.
Yeah. So, but if you needed to know, if you see the charge hit your credit card and it's $1,300 and you're like, wait a second, why am I getting? I thought it was going to be smaller than this, or I thought it was going to be more. You can always call me, and I have access to those receipts on Michelin's website within a day or two of you doing the transaction. So I could actually look it up, tell you, what you pay for the tires, what they charge you, what fees they charge you, and how much.
Yeah, and it's important, I think. You mentioned going in orientation and going with the new guys and trying to encourage them to set up a card.
Sure.
And that's a good idea for everybody to at least get their card set up during the day while you're here.
Yeah.
8 to 5, they can get it set up, because lo and behold, something happened at night or the weekends and that you're not accessible, and they're going, they're missing out on a huge discount.
Oh, yeah.
If they just had that card set up,
they'd be able to get the discount right there.
They'd be
Yeah.
able to get it.
Another thing, you can have multiple cards on file. For example, if you've only got $3,000 limit on a credit card and you got another one that you got a $3,000 limit on, you can put, and you're getting 8 tires, you can put 4 tires on one credit card, 4 tires on the other credit card.
That's good. That's good to know.
Another good part of it, of the Michelin and BF Goodrich program, is that you can buy personal tires for your SUV, for your pickup truck, car. They're not near as much as a.
I think he's kept that to himself.
Hey, he has.
Corey, don't you?
I was needing some tires for my wife's car
There you
last
go.
month. I sure didn't know that.
Where's that email?
Right.
That was a little secret I was holding on to, but I thought I'd let it out now. But
That's
yeah,
good.
the tires for your personal vehicles aren't going to be near as expensive, so the savings isn't going to be near as good, but
Right.
you are still going to save money. And hey, if it's $20 a tire, you're putting 4 on there,
Well,
you just saved $80.
It's all about saving money for these owner operators. I mean, when you get into those tires, and what does a tire run? I mean, $200 or $300.
No, tire runs about
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 5. Michelin will run you about roughly 600 a tire, and with the discount you can knock off 100 to 125.
Golly.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's not a small amount.
And that's something that they need to plan for. I
Sure.
mean, you're going to have to and I think most of our guys probably do. That's why you're set up with this, but they need to plan for a set of tires is a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys, what they do is, we got a program here, a savings account program, where each week we can deduct a certain amount out of your settlement, whether it be $50, $100, whatever you want it to be. And it goes into an interest bearing savings account that we keep on file here. And just whenever you need the money, you just contact us and we'll direct deposit it into your bank account the next business day. That way you can let that build up, like I said, $50 a week. And then, in 6 weeks, you got $300, and 12
we got
weeks,
a lot
you
of
got
guys
$600.
that use that.
Oh yeah. It's pretty popular, especially for truck maintenance, tires, taxes. It's just whatever you may need it for.
Hide it from mama.
There you go.
I didn't say that. Surely.
None of them do
Jeremy
that.
said
Never.
that for sure.
Well, that's something. Yeah, we definitely want to encourage them to start a savings account. A lot of guys will do it, I think they do it after they get their escrow paid up.
Yes,
And
I see
they
that
just
quite often.
Do
yes.
you? And they're used to that 175 coming
Mhm.
out. Hey, just keep taking it out. Except now, it's not in escrow; it's in a separate savings account. So I don't want you to get those confused. The escrow is escrow. That's for deductible on accidents, turnovers, trailer damage, all that stuff. The savings account is you need it right then, you get it. Now, keep in mind what Bryan just said, the next business day.
Correct. So if you call me, we've got to get it done by 4:00. So if you call me on a Tuesday at 3:30 and say, I need $1,000, I'll direct deposit that into your bank account. So if it's on a Tuesday at 3:30, Wednesday morning, it'll be in your bank account.
Okay.
If it's a Friday, it'll be Monday morning.
Okay.
But
Good stuff, man. Good information right there. I think that'll help our owner operators out a lot. Anytime you're talking fuel discounts that me and Corey were talking about that are huge savings every week. I'm talking a couple of $100 a week, with fuel savings and what we offer that, and then trying to help these guys out on tire discounts and what they can save on tires. I mean, it's a big business, isn't it?
yeah, definitely take advantage of it. It's like I tell everybody, like Jeremy touched on, even if you don't need tires right now, go ahead and set one up because, like he said, I can't tell you how many drivers I've had call me the next business day and say, hey, I had a flat last night and I had to get a tire and I paid full price. Is there anything you can do about that? And, unfortunately we can't. You got to get that tire or get that credit card put on there and take advantage of all the discounts that you can.
Yeah. Well, that's good. They got to do that so they can save money and be successful. That's a goal here with our owner operators. And that's one of the goals with this podcast is to help our owner operators be more successful at what they're doing. Anything to add, Corey, Bryan, anything on fuel?
No, I think we're
Discounts?
good, man.
I think we covered
I think
everything.
we covered
me
it.
too.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good information for owner operators. We appreciate you guys listening. I want you to pay attention, though. Share this podcast with guys. We got some good episodes in the works right now. We've got a couple of good guests that we've got lined up here in the next couple of weeks. So be sure and listen, and also go to YouTube. That's one thing we're putting all these up on YouTube now, and subscribe to YouTube. I had one guy, this is kind of a funny story real quick before I quit. I was telling three of our owner operators out here, and I was telling him, y'all need to go to YouTube and subscribe. He said, I ain't paying for that. I said, no. And the other guy standing with him said, no, man, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. I said, no, just it's nothing that you, and I guess, it makes sense because anytime you hear subscription, you're thinking
Right.
Pay.
Yeah. There's no pay, just subscribe. It helps us know how many people are listening to the podcast. You do it on YouTube and you can it's audio only right now, but we're working on video on that too. So different ways for everybody to listen to it. Appreciate y'all listening. If you got any questions, give us a call. How about phone number one more time?
Phone number, my name's Bryan, and my number is 501-320-8435, or you can just call your dispatcher and just let them know, let me speak to the tire guy.
There you go. That'll work. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Hey, appreciate everybody listening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate or review the show in the podcast platform of your choice and share it with a friend. We love hearing from our audience, so if you've got a question, comment, or just want to say hello, head over to our website, theoakleypodcast.com, and click the Leave a Comment button. We'll get you a response soon and may even share some of the best ones here on the show. We'll be back with a fresh episode very soon. Thanks for listening.